There is too much online information and advice that is just telling you to grow your business higher, faster, bigger, and hit these income numbers just because they're big income numbers. And growth for the sake of growth is cancerous at the end of the day, because I have had dozens and dozens of conversations recently with high-level, high-achieving entrepreneurs, men and women that are doing really great things. And there is this pain, there is this suffering, there is this hole that they're having that is not going to be fixed by achieving more money or by having more success, because they've tried that and they continue to try to increase their business numbers to be able to have higher revenue, but their pain and suffering is actually only getting worse. And so why I want to share this with you today is because this is so salient, this is so important, this is so recent for me as well, and why I've made the decisions with my business just in the past couple of months. I'm seeing a really massive shift, an undercurrent that is happening right now of people making these shifts like what I'm doing right now as well, that are absolutely profound. Not profound because the businesses are just doing things that are just so much better, but the founder, the entrepreneur, the person behind the business is so much happier, so much more fulfilled, and getting so much more out of life. As one of the biggest, most costly mistakes, costly with time and costly with money, that you and I can ever make is taking and applying the wrong advice, which is why I want you to be very cognizant when it comes to who are you taking the advice from that you're following right now. There is tons of stuff out there that is really, I think, is more geared towards the 20-year-olds or the early 20s, and that's perfectly fine. But for me, I think about when I'm taking advice from someone, when I'm having information come in, well, who is the person that's giving it? What are the biases that are going to be behind this? Because I want you to ask yourself right now, let's make this really useful. I want you to ask yourself, how much money do you want to earn? Why do you want to earn more money? And typically when it's like, why do you want to earn more money? Why do you want to get to a certain income amount? That, to be perfectly honest, I think 99% of the time when I ask an entrepreneur that question, how much money do you want to earn? The number that comes back in the reply to me is really coming through what I call the rectal extraction method. They're just pulling a number out of their ass at the end of the day. So when we pull back and we look at, okay, why do you want to earn a certain amount of money? It's really because you want to have that feeling. And so then I ask, why do you want to be able to have that feeling? And suddenly there becomes this revelation, this epiphany, this clear-sightedness of, hey, you know what? Your business can actually be much smaller and can be at a level that, number one, is much easier to be able to function, to be able to operate, gives you the ability to actually better help and serve your customers and clients. But then in return, it's able to actually give you what you really want as well. On one case, as I'm saying this, do not think that I've got this 100% right, because I could shoot a video in 1, 2, however many years, being like, you know what, fellas, that video that I shot not that long ago, that decision that I made not that long ago, it was wrong. Now I'm doing this. That's perfectly fine as well. And I would want to do that, to share that with you. Because for me, throughout my 20s, I started my first business and worked for myself from when I was 18 years old. And I, since then, have worked my ass off. And I've been very dedicated, very strict, very disciplined, because there was this deep ground belief that really it took a lot of psychotherapy, a lot of work, a lot of psychedelics, a lot of stuff to be able to understand myself on a much deeper, better, more truthful level, on understanding that I was so driven to be able to earn money because I thought that was the be all and end all. That was the thing that was going to be the savior for life. That was going to be happy. That was the absolute golden ticket to it. And it's not. But importantly, now being in this stage, in this chapter of my life right now, not that long ago, I sold my last company. And from that space, I was then able to then start to sit back, and I asked myself, and this is what I want you to be able to go through, the dialogue that you can have with yourself is, well, what do you want in this chapter of your life right now? What's most important to you? What are the things that you do have? What are the responsibilities that you do have as well? Because for me, there was this wanting to be able to just go after, start another company, be able to grow more, earn more, have more stuff. But the reason why I sold my last business was because I came to the clarity that I didn't want to have more. I wanted to be more. I wanted to experience different things. I wanted to accept the me actually becoming a different person as well. Because I do believe that we grow and evolve for a very specific reason, and we have to accept who we grow and evolve and want to become as well. So to give this real context and for you to understand why I've made this decision, why I've gone to a business model where I'm actually capping myself, I'm putting a ceiling upon myself as to how much money I'm going to be earning. And I'll go through this process with you in just a second, but it was really based on a couple of key factors. One, I have become someone completely different, and I'm not driven by just wanting to be able to earn more money, because I understand that that is not the thing that's ultimately going to give me that ultimate feeling that I'm really wanting in and throughout life as well. Two, I have 4 daughters now. Currently, they're aged 9, 7, 3, and 1. They're only going to be this age right now. And so I had to ask myself, do I want to go off and put my time, attention, energy, and resources somewhere else? And I wanted to be able to put more time, attention, and energy towards my daughters. I wanted to be with them more, have more presence, have just greater time just to be there. I can't believe that my eldest is 9 years old already. Like, that's flown by, and it's honestly pretty bonkers. It's honestly a little bit scary that time has just gone by so quickly. So I wanted to make the decision, well, I did make the decision to be able to set my business model up, because I wanted to have more time and energy for my daughters as well. But then also with my wife, I feel like we've been married for just over 11 years now, that her and I have come together recently and actually have very much seen that she has become a different woman. I have become a different man. And there's almost this re-meeting of each other right now, this real presence. There is a choosing of each other right now. I want to have more time with my wife, because over the last 10 years, there has been so much time and effort of me being in the office, me going after and wanting to conquer professional things. And again, I wanted more time, energy, and effort being into my marriage. And so again, when I came back to that concept of I only have a certain level of resources right now. Again, I've said it a few times, but time, energy, and resources is what I have. So where am I going to place these bets? Where am I going to put these assets that I have right now? And that's where I decided I wanted more towards my family, towards my daughters, towards my wife. And to be perfectly honest, I wanted more towards myself as well. I wanted to be able to give myself more space, more stillness, more silence, to be able to accept as I grow through this stage of life right now. And that means it doesn't go towards this other business stuff. So I came to this model that became really profound, and I want you to really like stick with me, pen and paper if you really need be to take this on board. Please pick up what I'm putting down. And that is, I was thinking about this concept of I want to be able to have minimum profit, and I want to be able to have a maximum output. So minimum profit is what's the minimum amount of money that I want to be earning that is going to give me the feelings that I want to feel, whether it's safety, security, abundance, whatever it is. What's that minimum amount of money that's going to be coming in? Now, I know if I said this not that long ago, it would have been completely ludicrous. The number that's just come to me was $120,000 a month, right? So I was like, at $120,000 a month, I get the feels that I want at the end of the day. But then the other concept, or the other part of this concept, was the maximum output, which is what is the maximum amount of work that I want to be doing that is then going to allow me to hit that minimum income. So for me, I then really I pulled everything back and I go, what is it? And so for me, it's actually 12 hours a week. I work 12 hours a week in the business parts. And so this is where I was able to design what my business needs to look like right now, which is what I want you to do, because this is literally one of the first exercises that I do when a new partner comes on board with me. We sit down and go through this process. What is the minimum amount of profit that you want to have? What is the maximum amount of output you want to have? But then there is a third part of this concept, which is your zone of genius. And this is actually the type of work that you're doing as well. Because whenever I do a time audit with an entrepreneur, with a business owner, there is 100% of the time wasted, ineffective, inefficient things that they're doing, which means we can get them to achieve more with less time. And just by being more productive, you're able to have a smarter model because that maximum output can get even tighter as well. So as I was designing this new business model for myself, there was also, well, then how does the rest of the business, because there's the zone of genius. I know the things that I love to be able to do and that are the revenue generating actions as well. So the other thing that I don't want to be doing, or that I'm no good at and that I really shouldn't be doing anyway as well, because it's outside of my zone of genius, I have team members, but I only have 3 part-time team members now. Compared to before with the company I had, which was much, much more, now I've been able to bring this right back. I wanted to simplify. I wanted to make things easier and more efficient. So I have 3 part-time team members. I have an executive assistant, I have a content manager, and I have a tech dude that deals with all the websites and other tech stuff. And so for me, I'm able to have a $100,000+ income per month business, but my profit margins is the high 90%, which is amazing to be able to do. And this is where I want you to think about when you're designing your business model, or if you're running the business right now, more likely, what's currently going on? Do you understand of what your minimum amount of profit is? Do you understand how much you actually want to be working? Because if you start working more, does resentment start to build? I think a lot of the time it does. Is it actually being inefficient and ineffective? I think a lot of the time it does. And then understanding inside of that maximum output, there is that zone of genius, the things that you just really need to be doing as well. Because one part of building a business, wanting to achieve something, and anything in life as well, beyond business, it could be anything at all, is do you know the price you have to pay to achieve that? Do you know the price you have to pay to achieve that? Because oftentimes, most people do not. When they have this rectal extraction method and they say, I want to achieve this thing, I want to earn this much money, they don't actually truly understand what is needed for them to be able to get there at the end of the day, which is why I think it's so important for us to sit back and first actually contemplate, think about, and decide in a very smart, wise way what is actually going to be the best business model for you as well. Because I've talked about it in other episodes, and I'll go deeper into this as well, but as you decide and have this is kind of like the core essence of your decision when it comes to your business. This is kind of like the root, the seed, the gestalt of it. Because outside of this, then we can start building out. Because as I said, this would be one of the first exercises I do with a new partner, going through this process that I'm taking you through right now. Then one of the next steps after is then thinking about the 4 models inside of the business. What's the economic model of the business? What is the actual acquisition model? How you get customers and clients coming in? What is the delivery model? How do you deliver the experience, the results to the customers and clients? And then what's the operational model? How does everything actually work operationally inside of the business for it to actually function? Because once we've got the seed done, you understand what I've taken you through, then you apply what are the 4 models inside of that. Then it's really simple. I can look at a business on a piece of paper. I can see, I can function, and I can know on a day-to-day level what needs to be done. Because where so much of frustration comes from with entrepreneurs is that they're not understanding exactly what the constraint is, what the problem is that's holding their business back from giving them what they want, and then them doing on a day-to-day level or working on things that are just completely incorrect as well. So hopefully you can start to see there is a very simple process that we can start to go through that really kind of unfolds this ease, this simplicity, this kind of, this relaxing back, where business isn't frustrating, isn't a source of pain and suffering, but something can be really joyful, both because you're able to deliver an amazing experience, an amazing result to your customers and clients. You're truly serving them in your best capacity, and by that function, you're best serving yourself as well. And so this is why I wanted to share this with you today, because I wanted to open up how it is I've come to my decision, why it was. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm capping my income right now. I know that I don't want to be able to earn more, but I'm making things much simpler as well. But at the same time, I'm then being very conscious in choosing where I'm putting my time, energy, effort, and resources as to how I want my life to feel right now. Because I want you to live the life that you really want. I want you to have the feelings of that fulfillment, of that happiness, of that joy, of that eudaimonia at the end of the day. So I hope this has really helped you. I hope you're able to take away from this and be able to design your business model as well. And if it comes with any questions at all when it comes to this stuff, because I love geeking out about it, which is probably what you picked up because this video has gone far longer than I thought it was going to at the end of the day, then hit me up. Whether you're listening to me on the podcast, whether you're watching me on the YouTube, whether you're standing out the front of the building right now just listening somehow, I want you to be able to let me know what it is that you're picking up from this and how I can best help you in the episodes moving forward as well. Because as always, I appreciate your time and attention. Thank you for being here, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.